Hi out there. We are going to be getting some of this wood up. And it's all the way down there. And I'm going to be putting it in this pretty new box. So, I guess, you know, you've been here for just about all of this tree. So you'll be here for this. Now, I got some wood all the way over here. So I'm going to put you back here for a while. And I probably should have a, what do you call it, a wireless mic, but I don't. So just kind of bear with me. I think I'll put some of these closer ones in first. That's kind of a, I got it in a shaky spot, which isn't particularly the best thing in the world. Now, that one's kind of nasty. These aren't too bad. These are, I don't know, junk wood, really. I might have to move this rack. We ain't, I don't like styrofoam. I don't know if you can see that thing rocking, but it's not being nice. I don't know what I got it on, but we got it on something. Now, if I knew how to zoom, I would zoom, but I don't know how to zoom. Or not zoom, fast feed. So I don't know how to fast feed, but if you go onto the YouTube place, you can hit that little gear and speed this up. And maybe figure out what I'm doing here. There's always a perfect one for every spot. I'll show you this. I'll show you that in a minute. Some of this stuff I'm going to leave here because we are going to have a bonfire birthday party on Saturday, and I'll leave it for that. Now, I think the rest of that's small enough for bonfire. Let me look at it. Yeah, this is all pretty much bonfire wood. Like I said, we're having a bonfire birthday party on Saturday. It's supposed to rain. Got a lot of rain coming in. It's been a little bit of thundery and kind of yucky out. We'll pick this up and get it in the, the one that I showed you, there's always a butt for every seat. This one had a knot on it that way, and this one had a knot on it that way. Fit right in, didn't it? Some of these littler ones are green poplar, so I'll put them in there and they'll dry. This is all just boiler wood. It'll be dry enough for this winter. I can or for this season. This is oak here. This is that oak tree. Now, if you're new here, I can see what you're. I can feel what you're thinking. I can feel it. I can feel it. Why don't you get a Pickaroon? Pick these up. I can feel you guys talking to me about it right now. I guess it's a good question. So I'm going to give you my answer. All right, we're going to put you down. I wonder if there's a place I can sit and talk, yak. I guess there isn't, but I don't know when I'm in the camera. There, if my head's above that, I'm in the camera. I'll put it back further. On Pickaroons, there is a place and a time for Pickaroons. I probably have more of these Pickaroons. That damn camera. I probably have more of these Pickaroons than anybody out there. I probably have a dozen of them. And I sold a bunch of them because I don't like them. Different ones were fatter handles, thinner handles. You always got to sharpen the points on them, every one I ever had. I like really cat paw sharp Pickaroons. And what you do, if you're not familiar with a Pickaroon, look at that. What a klutz. That's what you use a Pickaroon for. You can go in there. Let's see. I'll go up to this one up there, and you can stab your wood. But you can stab your wood. Now watch. To stab that wood, you got to get in location for it, and then you can pick it up, and you can bring it over here, and you can stack it in your pile. Okay. You can go up to the next one. And you're going to have to get it and pick it up. Now, I want you to notice something with that Pickaroon. Okay, let's see where we're at here. When I go up to one of those logs, you have to position yourself pretty good to get one. Now, when you go get it, okay, you got to get all this stuff out of the way. Not that that makes any difference. You're using more energy. Is that daggone tree right there in the way? I'll be darned. I'm such a bad cameraman. Think of how much more energy you have to use when you come in here and you have to swing this down. Okay? It's doable. Now I've picked this log up. That log is on this half of my body. That means my back is pulling to the side. No question about it. You can't dispute that fact that you're pulling to the side. Now you're coming over to where you're going to do it. Okay? Where you're going to drop it off. And what do you got to do? I can't see. Great having a cameraman. You have to, if you're getting up higher, you're going to have to keep getting higher and higher and higher, all right? To set it in there. And then you got to do more work to get it out of there, depending on how hard you skewered the log. So now you're going to work your shoulder a lot harder. Okay? Now my shoulders are shot, so that actually hurt. You got to come up here, you got to get in more position, stab it. Okay, that works great. It's saving my back. Now how many times you get halfway across your spot that you're putting it and you lose that? Now you can't see where, you know, I had to do 2 or 3 tries to get that thing unhooked. Okay? So now, if I want to really get a log, I can just go over here, bend over, use my back muscles, and pick it up. I'm even. Left side, right side's even. Okay, I have more control. I'm not off balance. Okay, my back is not out of balance. Okay, when I put it in the box, I can just set it down. I don't have to work a thing to move it around to get it out of there. Now if you think about it, I'll grab a couple more here. Just these are those little ones. Now if you think about it, I know I'm going to forget something on this. If I'm picking up these little ones with this Pickaroon, which I consider these little ones, okay, now if I use my back, if I use the Pickaroon, I haven't used any real back muscles. Okay, I've just gone up, lean down, pick it up, boom, easy to go. Now if this one wouldn't be picked up by the Pickaroon, okay, then I would have to pick it up the way I do. So there's going to come a point in time where you can't pick those up with a Pickaroon. Your shoulder ain't going to make it, your back ain't going to make it. So now you're going to go over to this big log that couldn't be picked up by a pickaroon. You know it. So you're going to go and pick it up by hand. Your back has not bent over and done any exercise to get you in shape to pull a big log up. And you're going to pick that big log up and you say, oh, that hurt my back. It's because you didn't work the muscles in your back to get to the point where you could pick that one up. Okay? That's it in a nutshell. It takes more work to use a pickaroon, and it's not really good for you. It is. I'm telling you, the pickaroon is good for an extension. That's a hickory tree. Did I ever tell you I don't like hickory trees? We'll see if we can't tie that around there and make it go up straight. I think I got it. Did I ever tell you I didn't like hickory trees? Sometime I got to tell you about that. Anyhow, I think you're better off. There's a lightning struck tree right here. See that? Not to change paces. This is part of that tree. When you get a smiley face like that, or a smiley face like that, or a frowny face, whatever you want to call about, is what happens. This is real obvious to see. Is the bark flashes the sap in the wood, blows it out, and then it wraps back around like that, and then you have that. That's a real typical. So that tree was hit by lightning. That's what took that out, and then it got hypoxylin disease. The lightning probably made it real weak, and then it got the hypoxylin canker in it, because I saw some of that on there. Anyhow, that's kind of it in a nutshell. You should be picking those little rounds up by hand. You know, sometimes you can take two of them when you're younger. I ain't younger no more. Them younger days is gone. And just throw them in whatever you're throwing them in. Doesn't matter when you're doing wood. Sooner or later you got to pick it up. Most of the time I pull these out of the woods, and it's probably easier, but I'm not going to split any of this. It's going in the boiler, and it'll probably go in the boiler this year. This stuff is looks pretty good. It's got a lot of, oh, I don't think you're in this picture. It's got a lot of crap in it. Now the next thing I'm going to address, I got pickaroons. I probably forgot something about the pickaroons, and why I use them and why I don't use them. I mean, for reaching out, I use one when I pull the wood out of the green bucket onto the wood splitter, and then I'm just kind of using it as an extension of my hand. I'm not, it would be the same muscles used in that as if my hand could reach it, if you follow that drift. So I think sometimes when you're using a pickaroon to pick up your logs, you might be hurting yourself. If you want to do it that way, that's perfectly fine, because I know I'll see a lot of people, oh man, that saves my back, that saves my back, that saves my back. Until you get to the big one that you can't pick up, and your back muscles aren't stretched out, exercised, build up to handle that big one. That big one's what hurts you. It's not the little ones. Little ones aren't going to hurt you. Doesn't matter how you get them in there. The next thing is mittens. I don't wear mittens a whole lot. And I know if you're new here, you're going to say, how come you don't have gloves on? Well, when I'm picking up these logs, I got a lot better dexterity when I pick them up without mittens. Okay? Now, pickaroon, you couldn't get two of them. Didn't think about that till just now. Pickaroon, I just got two of these little ones. Where was I? Mittens. You're going to get splinters, okay? You're going to have accidents, and yeah, the mittens will help your hands. Gloves, if you want to call them gloves, that's fine, doesn't matter. And they'll save your hands, but you'll build up calluses, and you know, you're going to get a a sliver from time to time. That's just the way it is, whether you're working wood here, working wood at the sawmill, working firewood, stacking it. You're going to get slivers from time to time. Just deal with them. You know, now some of the ladies out there have softer hands. I'm not good or bad. Put whatever you want in that. I'm not trying to put them down. Okay, they might want to wear that a little bit more. And if you want to wear them, I think you should. I ain't got nothing against mittens. But I have a lot better dexterity without them. Couldn't do that with a Pickaroon, could you? 2 of them. I think you got, most of the time, a lot better dexterity without mittens. Okay? And that's another reason I don't wear them. And accidents happen, whether it's in the wood yard or whether it's there. Here's proof of it. Can you see my fingernail polish? You know how I did that? I didn't have mittens on. Didn't make any difference. I wouldn't have ever used mittens to close a drawer in my toolbox. That's how I got that. 2 drawers were open, and as I slid this one shut, I had my hand over the end of it, and it pinched against the other one when it came in. And it hurt. Bet I don't do that again. I got better dexterity. You know, with mittens, it seems like I keep picking up the wood twice, and you know, I get splinters from time to time, so you're in the wood business. You're going to get splinters. That's all there is to it. Let's see, what else did I want to cover? I know there was a couple other things I wanted to cover, so you don't hammer me too bad. Mittens was one thing. The Pickaroon, I know everybody's looking at me for, why aren't you using a Pickaroon? Why aren't you using a Pickaroon? And there was a couple others. Boy, if I don't write that stuff down, I'm just dumb as a box of rocks. I think I'll put this one over here. The old wood box is getting filled. There was something else I wanted to. I got the mittens. I don't wear mittens. I got the Pickaroon. Man, what am I forgetting here? This is oak. That'll make a nice little 15-minute fire. I don't remember what the other thing I wanted to tell you was. That's what happens when you get old and senile. There are a couple things. Oh, I know what one was. Painting those sticks. Yeah, I gotta paint those sticks. I only have 2 of those. 2 of those measuring sticks. I have them numbered because I'll leave them in the woods and don't remember which one I had. It's kind of a, I don't know, it's just a thing. So yeah, I got to paint them. I'm going to probably make a couple more. They're the square sticks from sticking tanks at a gas station. There's a couple poplars that I'll put in there that are not that bad. No, that one's oak. You don't always want big stuff in your boiler. I mean, this is all boiler wood. Oh man, a perfect spot for it. Somebody, I don't have a chainsaw to explain what the other gentleman, there were a couple of them that said, why don't you mark your blade on your chainsaw? And I don't do that. I use a stick, and you know, basically whatever way works best for you is the way you should do it. I'm trying to figure if I'm in here. If I'm going down, number one, that little saw that I use was a 12-inch bar, and I'm cutting these at 18 inches. But I don't feel like going while the saw's run. It's uncomfortable for me, so I just don't do that. I don't find it any faster or slower or more convenient or inconvenient. You should measure your logs. I'll tell you what. When I started doing firewood and I said I measured logs, people looked at me like I was a big nut. I've been doing firewood for over 50 years. But now it seems to be the in thing. Oh, we got this measure, we got that measurement, we got this measurement. And it's just, I don't know, it's just the way it is. There was another thing I was going to talk to you about. Paint? No, I think that's it. But that's why I don't use, you know, I'll tell you what I'm looking at lately. I don't have a log here to really show you. There ain't nothing around here. Most of the time when I'm using that little top saw, it doesn't make any difference. I got a hand free anyway, which you probably saw that when I was sawing this stuff up. The rest of this stuff here, I think I'll just put into my green bucket and take up and save it for before it starts raining for the firewood thing. So I don't like the twirl of the chainsaw. You know, that's a big piece. This wrist here doesn't work anyway. It's non-repairable. Most of the time I'm pretty good with it, because they said there's a completely torn ligament in there, and they said they couldn't fix it without doing a lot of work, because it ripped, it didn't tear. And it was so bad when I don't know how I did it, I don't know what I did, it just ripped. Okay, it's been probably 2 or 3 years ago, and it's now to a point where they said, you know, the other muscles will probably take over, or other ligaments will take over for it. So it was so bad and hurt so bad that I couldn't pull my zipper up and down. That's how bad it hurt. Well, that's about the end of this show and into the jabber. You got my things on. Pickaroons are good in their own place, and if you're picking up logs like this and putting them in here by now, think about it. I got to be way up here in height, which I don't think. Now I'm going up to up in the woods where I cut those other trees up and finish filling this box up. So that's where I'm heading now. I'm not going to take you along for that, because putting wood in the box is pretty daggone boring. All this wood here, these big pieces will get split. The chunks will go to chunks. In fact, those chunks might go to, now see, a pickaroon for this is a pretty good plan. You know, you're just kind of, you're not trying to pick it up, you're just trying to move it. I don't know if this will move or not. Yeah, it does. Whoa, ain't gonna move by me. Now I know why my chainsaw got, I guess that thing just sucks the dirt up in there. This thing is a heavy piece of wood here. Whoa, got you, didn't I? I might cut that up and it might go into, oh, can you see them ants running down there? I guess they don't like being disturbed. There's a lot in there, them big black ones. I'm a home wrecker. That's not as heavy as that piece there. Yeah, that'll make a good piece of firewood. Probably go on my chunks and hunks, I don't know. Anyhow, I'm gonna wrap this one up. Glad you came along. Put what you think about my opinion of the Pickaroon in the in the comments below. And if you use a Pickaroon, I know there's a lot of people that do. And for dragging stuff along like this, I don't see anything wrong with that. And using them occasionally, there ain't a problem with it. But I think if you constantly use it, you're doing yourself a disfavor. You see, now I can't get this thing out, and it's not in that. So now I got to do, there it came out. You got to do more work to get it out. I just don't like them for hauling wood. Here's a bridge over the creek, which is just about dried up. Have a bridge. We got the water pump and water ram, and this is where I get the water for the garden back here. It comes out of a, if you've never seen this, I guess it's built that bridge years ago. Years and years ago. It comes out, we brought the backhoe down here and dug a, this is just kind of getting off beaten path, isn't it? Literally. We got that pipe that comes along there, goes into the ground, and there's a spring down in there. keeps that 500-gallon tank full, and then there's an overflow pipe for it. Then it comes down here for a pump. We used to use a water ram, or my neighbor used to use a water ram. Now I just use electric pump and turns it on up at his house. His pool is way up there. You can't even see it from here. But that's what that is. This bridge here, this used to be a water hole here, a big water hole here, and then silts filled it in from all the rainstorms. And this used to have a pump back here, and where all this stuff up is here used to all be garden years ago, until the deer started taking over and had to find a place to put. This was all, there wasn't anything here. This was all woods, just like you see on the other side of where it got green. All this is crap I brought in, but this used to be all garden back here. There's an acre here, and that's where I used to get my water from to irrigate this. There's the irrigation pipe up there. So, oh, you know, Pickaroon makes a good back scratcher. I'm scratching my back right now. Anyhow, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. A little bit of everything going on this one. I'm gonna go from here up on top of the hill. I'm not gonna show that. Once I get this filled, I'll do a short on filling it up. You should go by, take a look at the shorts, because a lot of these videos I do, you just want to see a minute's worth of them anyway. So that's what we're at. Boy, this thing feels like it's zoomed in. It was. No wonder I was having such a hard time getting in the screen. One of these days I'll learn how to be a camera person, but probably not soon. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. Now I got to figure out how to turn it off. There it is.